Good afternoon, awesome people. Thank you again for joining us down here in Kisumu, Karating. We are in Western Kenya. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are in the village and loving it. All right, folks, I'm going to talk with you about why some of us, not all of us, some of us are scared about growing old in America. Uh, Many people plan to return, many Africans plan to return to Africa, perhaps later when they retire. And that's totally fine. That was my initial goal. I was going to be in America until I retire, then I come back home. And then after I had a disaster happen in my life in 2022, I lost two siblings tragically, very young folks back to back. And things changed. I revised my goal to 5 years, and then we revised it even further. And I'll tell you the truth, a lot of us don't like the idea of retiring in the Western world. And I'll just give you some of the reasons why that is the case. But as you can tell, folks, it's an incredible afternoon. I'm right here in my brother's property. This is a structure that was built by my guys, and I think they did a good job. One of the better buildings we've done. If you need help with building things like that, my number is below. If you need help with interior design, kitchens, all that stuff, we bought systems that we've relied upon that we can share with you. So reach out and let me know what I can help with. What I can't, I'll obviously tell you that I can't, and let's find out who can help. So anyway, folks, you can believe, maybe you don't believe me, but yesterday was so rainy and gloomy and all that. And then the next day, look at the weather and just look at the greenery. My God, I love this place. And this is the first time in almost 20 years that I would say that my spirit, my mind, my body, and my soul are all in the same place for an extended period of time. Oftentimes, when I leave Africa, my body leaves, but my mind, my soul, my spirit is always here. When I'm here in the village, all of them are combined, and I'm happy. I'm really happy. So, folks, I want you to come join us. It's not bad. I promise you, it's not bad. So, anyway, folks, like I said, I'm in my brother's property, just checking things out. I went to pick something here, and I gotta rub it in. I gotta rub it in. Fresh organic fruits. Every single day, there's always something. Whether it's my mapera, whether it's avocado, loquat, there's always something in season here. And so we love it. We love it. So come join us, friends. Come join us. So let's talk about the reality of growing old in America. Now, like I said, there are people with money in America who live very comfortable lives. Very comfortable life. But that's not everybody. And probably I would dare say that's not the majority. I know Africans who have a lot of money and live very comfortably as old people in America. And typically they can afford, they've already paid off their homes. They have a very healthy retirement nest that seem to work just fine. They're able to afford healthcare and they can do a whole lot. So even when they have money, retirement is way more than just being able to afford the lifestyle you have. Retirement, there's a social aspect of it that makes it very difficult. For one, as an African who has lived in America for a long time, what you will observe is that over time, you realize your circle of friends begins to shrink. The people you know, people move either away from where you live or people move back to Kenya, people die. And so as you grow older, your circle of connection becomes tighter. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But then at some point you're struck, you realize, hey, you're probably the only one of your generation who is living the way you're living. Many of the folks around you are people who just came to diaspora recently. You have younger folks who just moved, just got their visas, and those are very different generations. So the extent to which you connect with them may not be the same as the way you used to connect with your peers. So that's one of the first things that is going to happen to you when you live that long in America. I know people who have been in the US for like 50 years. Their circle of connection has gotten tighter over time. Their peers are dead or have moved back home. And so you begin to realize that you're one of the few people that occupy the space you do. Then the second thing too, you realize that your life for the most part becomes relatively sedentary. Whether you're at home or you are someplace else, but you're not as mobile. Here in the village, when I wake up in the morning, at the bare minimum, I'm going to meet my mom in the morning, and when she's busy doing her own things, I've got people who work for us. I am talking to people. The moment I wake up, open my door, I'm going to talk to people, and usually people that either work for us or neighbors or something like that. And that amount of social interaction is something that even in Long Beach right now, I don't have. Of course, I've got friends everywhere in California and everywhere in the US, but I don't get to see people as much as I do now. Like this morning, I woke up and then I took my car to be washed. And I love doing that because I drop it off and then I walk back all the way. And where I wash it is on purpose, slightly further away from where I live. So I walk like maybe 2 miles. And in between, I run into people everywhere. There's like little kids going to school saying hi, strangers. There's a certain degree of social interaction that I don't get when I live where I live in Long Beach. And I can only imagine what it's like for people who are older. My neighbor next door is in his late 70s. When I'm out here, when I'm gone, he actually comes to volunteer to take out trash for my wife, just so he can have somebody to talk to. And so the social isolation that begins coming in later on in life can be really intense. In fact, I didn't even know it, that a lot of people in their 70s, like late 60s, 70s, begin to have mental health issues, in part because of the isolation. It feels like life has moved on. Because our communities in the Western world are so stratified so that old people tend to hang in old people's spaces. Same with all the other ages. Even in school, they insist that kids sit around peers of the same age. Back here in the village, there is no such thing as old people house. It might be necessary at some point, but all the old people live in the same space as every one of us. My grandmother is fairly old, she's ailing, but where she is, there's always people living with her. Like I just left this morning, I went to take breakfast with her. And that's all I wanted to do. Wake up, go take breakfast with my grandmother. She's fairly old, but something like that, you just see how it lights up her day. Because that old woman loves us like nothing else. And I wake up in the morning because her home is about maybe a 6-minute drive from my home. I will hop on my car, drive just to go have breakfast with her. And I sit and we talk and I just massage her hands and we talk. I mean, she is a happy old woman. Something that many elderly folks don't have that. And if she's sick, the good thing I'm home. I just hop on my car, go grab her, we are straight to the hospital. She knows she's taken care of. And as long as God gives me what I have, my grandmother is not going to lack anything. Same with my old folks. Now, in many Western world, people are busy. Even people who have kids, what ends up happening is that your kids may live even in a different state or a different city. They may not be as accessible to you as you would wish. And so the very same kids you sacrifice your entire life for, also begin having lives of their own. And you can't blame them. Because even for us who moved to diaspora, we left our folks back here and moved out there. And so when our kids begin to become independent, moving into their own spaces, it can be challenging. So the sense of isolation that hits you at that age is not fun. And over time, it takes a toll on your mental health and the quality of life you live. Here in the village, even those who have just bought land and built home here, they connect so well. You always have people around you. Even though I would say that can sometimes come with its own set of problems, but I will take that any day. So then the third thing that hits you when you're older is that oftentimes people end up with fixed income. Not everybody. Some people have plenty of money and that's not a concern. But at old age, once you retire, you have fixed income. Your ability to do stuff can be limited. I know our person who now earns Social Security, and I think he or she makes about maybe, I would say like $1,600 a month. Can you imagine living in Long Beach where I live on $1,600 a month? That is straight on poverty, no question. So having a fixed income with the kinds of bills we pay in diaspora can really make your quality of life very tight, to the point where even traveling to come home can be a challenge. And so while many Africans do well financially and they don't have to worry about finances in retirement, there's a good segment of us who end up with barely just enough to get by. Now, if you take the $1,600 a month and you move to the village, you will be living here like a king, because that's over 200,000 Kenya shillings, or maybe thereabout. With that amount, you will be able to, especially if you've already built your home and you already have a car, you can move from point A to point B. You will be able to hire a nanny or a cook. You will be able to have somebody to clean for you. You'll be able to hire people to, I mean, you can pretty much hire anybody to do anything for you in the village and still have money left over to just go and enjoy life. And the nice thing about that age in retirement in the village, if you choose to be active, you can be active for the rest of your life. Like my mother is so busy. She retired a few years ago. They often have some church meetings. They have whatnot. She's on some school board, and she has got her own chicken. They've got a ton of things. So they're busy, and this is busy by choice, not busy because you have to. Because again, unfortunately, some people in retirement still have to work that much hard. But for many of them, they are just being a part of the community, and you're always doing something. Even for me, I'm not retired, I'm home, but when in between the jobs that I do here, I'm always out there, maybe attending a funeral, there's some kind of a community, there's a baraza, there's something going on. When I'm home, if there's a community thing going on, I will be part of it. So overall, what I say is that the quality of life as a retiree in diaspora can be really tough. And then number 4, add the weather to it. Almost every single day, except for days that it rains all day, here in the village, especially Karateng in Western Kenya, I can just sit out here. It is just the breeze. It is not too hot. It is never cold. I'm always in shorts. In many places in the West, you don't always have the luxury of great weather most of the year as we do in the village. So besides the issues I've talked about, then add the terrible weather to it. I'm not saying it's gloom and doom for people who are old, but while there are certain perks about growing old in diaspora, for example, access to quality care within your neighborhood, but overall put together, growing old in the Western world is miserable. And the kids we keep talking about, like I said, they move away. So this is the time you focus on you. For me, my initial plan was to wait till I retire and then come back. I threw that out of the window. There's no way I'm going to live in America for another 10, 15 years. No way. I revised that goal. We even reversed it further. We are much, much closer to returning fully than we ever have been. So folks, like I said, people pick their own choices. I'm not judging anybody. All I'm telling you is just the stuff I see. You can have a different opinion, and that's okay. I'll see you in the next. Bye.